What is a man? A miserable pile of... Holy crap! I forgot they were making this! Castlevania animated series on Netflix. This was not news to me. This was not super news. Like, I knew... What is super news? What the heck am I talking about? In any case, this isn't brand new to me. I had heard the original announcement, but it completely gone out of my head. But now, whoa! And if you're wondering why I'm this pumped, they released like a poster, and that's it. Just a poster. Why am I this pumped over a poster? Mostly because of what it reminded me of, and also some stuff I didn't realize. First of all, it's animated, which I think I did know, but, you know, just that as a premise, I do love animation, but that's not enough to sell me in and of itself. I need to see something. I need to get a sense of style. I get that from this poster. You know what this poster made me think of? Vampire Hunter D. And if they can bring that feel to Castlevania, well, first of all, it's a perfect marriage in the first place. So if they bring that look and that feel to animation on Netflix, and they've confirmed 2 series, and the thing I didn't know, Warren Ellis is writing this? Warren Ellis, I have yet to read anything by him that I didn't like. I haven't read all of his stuff. I'm not as well read in general as I would like to be. There's very few writers whose work I know more or less comprehensively, but my favorite completed run in the comic book medium of all time is Transmetropolitan. I love that thing so much. I love it more than Sandman, and I love me some Sandman. So the idea that Warren Ellis is writing this thing... Now, some people, if you're a longtime follower on this channel, it might seem slightly odd that I seem excited about this because I've badmouthed video game movies before, and I will continue to. I've actually even made the argument, and at this point I still stand by it, that video games cannot work as movies. I mean, at this point, we've seen almost every permutation. We've seen ones that stuck to the source material, deviated from the source material, were based off movies with deep lore, were based off movies with no lore, with lousy directors, with great directors. It doesn't seem to matter. We keep getting crap. I'm not going to rehash all my arguments as to why, but if you go back at the conversation and the argument I had with my friend Paul a couple of months back on this very topic, I did concede that some of these things might work as TV series. Now, I don't think either of us mentioned Netflix at the time. I think maybe we said something, you know, HBO, FX, something like that. Netflix, for whatever reason, wasn't on my radar, but the idea, because a big part of why movies won't work, I said I wasn't going to rehash arguments. I'll bring this up at least. There are 2 major reasons why I feel that video game movies don't work. One of them is they don't have enough time, because a big part of why we as gamers really get attached to these characters and these stories and these settings is because we spend so much time in them. And that amount of time is what allows these settings to work the way that they do. I think a real great example of that is Silent Hill and the Silent Hill movie. Now, the Silent Hill movie is one of the better video game movies out there. It's still not great, though. And it certainly doesn't hit you the way those video games hit. Well, the best ones in those video games hit you. And the reason is, when you play, say, Silent Hill 2, which most people will agree is the best one in the franchise, you're just wandering that town and that setting for hours through that fog and those monsters, and you don't know when they're gonna come next. You don't know what's going on, and you just have to dwell in it. And it's absorbing and it's immersive, and because you have to just exist in that space for hours and hours and hours. And in a movie, all they can do is sort of guide you by hand and sort of take you on the sightseeing tour of that. And even though the movie of Silent Hill realized that visually incredibly well, it couldn't be as impactful because the atmosphere doesn't have the same time to sink into your bones and really get to you the way they did in the video game. But you do something that takes more time, like a series, maybe we can make up for the fact that, like I said, one of the reasons the movies haven't been working is trying to cram this into 2.5 hours. The best video game stories take advantage of one of the things that video games have, which is a heck of a lot longer than 2 hours to tell these stories. Now, that does make Castlevania a bit of an odd one, because Castlevania's stories are really bare bones for the most part. I mean, the stories are just, here's the castle, fight your way through it until you get to Dracula. Some of them do a little bit more than that, but Castlevania is not known especially for its actual storyline. Its lore, certainly. And it does, like something like Silent Hill, have a ton of atmosphere and a great feel to it. Actual nuts and bolts of a story, not too much there. But again, I think with a clever writer, which Warren Ellis most certainly is, he can take that and really build something with it. So it's funny. I think right now you're seeing it, like for a little while there, for a couple of weeks, you were seeing how little things could set me off in a bad way about movies. Like I ranted just based off a motion poster for Ghost in the Shell. Well, you know what? Little things can set me off in a good direction too. This is nothing but a poster for a show that who knows how long it's going to be until we see it. But you know what? It's enough to get me excited. Not just like hopeful, excited by a poster. So I'll be keeping an eye on that, and I would like to think that it succeeds, and then that is what we see for the future of video game adaptations. Because stop with the movies. The movies don't work. This could work. So Castlevania on Netflix, what are your thoughts about it? What do you think about this poster? What do you think about Warren Ellis' involvement? What do you think about any of it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check me out on Twitter at Council of Geeks. Give a listen to the Council of Geeks podcast, home of 90s Comics Retrial, available on iTunes and Stitcher. And until next time, this council is adjourned.